Unburdening the Soul, 9 Stoic Habits to Abandon for a More Fulfilling Life. In the ever-expanding digital landscape of self-improvement, the Stoic philosophy has experienced a remarkable resurgence. Online communities dedicated to its principles have flourished, attracting individuals seeking guidance on cultivating virtue, developing resilience, and navigating the complexities of modern existence with a sense of equanimity. Within these online circles, the emphasis is often placed, and rightfully so, on the active cultivation of positive habits, practicing gratitude, developing mindfulness, cultivating empathy, and striving for excellence in all endeavors. However, a critical, often overlooked aspect of Stoic practice lies in the conscious identification and deliberate elimination of negative habits that actively undermine our well-being and hinder our progress toward a virtuous life. It's akin to tending a garden. We meticulously plant seeds of virtue and nurture their growth, but if we neglect to weed out the persistent, unwanted plants, our efforts will be significantly compromised. The ancient Stoic philosophers understood this fundamental principle. Epictetus, a towering figure in the Stoic tradition, identified 2 vices as particularly insidious and detrimental to the human spirit: a lack of persistence and a lack of self-control. These 2 seemingly simple concepts encapsulate a profound truth about the human condition. The lack of persistence speaks to our tendency to give up in the face of adversity, to abandon our goals and values when confronted with challenges, discomfort, or the allure of immediate gratification. We start projects with enthusiasm, make commitments with sincerity, and set intentions with fervor, only to falter and abandon them when the initial excitement wanes and the path ahead appears arduous. This lack of tenacity prevents us from realizing our potential, achieving our goals, and experiencing the satisfaction that comes from overcoming obstacles and persevering through difficult times. The lack of self-control, on the other hand, manifests as our inability to resist temptations, to manage our impulses, and to regulate our emotions. We succumb to fleeting desires, indulge in harmful habits, and allow our emotions to dictate our actions, often to our own detriment. This lack of self-mastery leads to impulsivity, regret, and a sense of being controlled by external forces rather than being the masters of our own destiny. We become slaves to our desires, driven by cravings and urges that ultimately diminish our well-being and prevent us from living in accordance with our values. Epictetus stressed the paramount importance of both persisting in the pursuit of virtue and resisting the allure of vice. He believed that true progress lies in a consistent, disciplined effort to act in accordance with reason and virtue, even when we don't feel inclined to do so. This requires a conscious commitment to developing new, positive habits that align with our values, while simultaneously actively working to eliminate the negative habits that hold us back. This dual approach, cultivating virtue and eradicating vice, is essential for achieving genuine and lasting self-improvement. Building new, positive habits is, undoubtedly, a challenging process. It requires sustained effort, unwavering commitment, and a willingness to embrace discomfort. We must be patient with ourselves, recognizing that setbacks are inevitable and that progress is rarely linear. It's like learning a new skill: we stumble, we make mistakes, we experience frustration, but with each attempt, we gradually improve, building proficiency in confidence. Similarly, developing virtuous habits requires consistent practice, self-awareness, and a willingness to learn from our failures. Equally significant, however, is the practice of resistance, the conscious and deliberate effort to avoid temptations and break free from harmful habits that impede our growth. This involves identifying the triggers that lead to our negative behaviors, developing strategies for managing those triggers, and cultivating the willpower to resist the urge to indulge in destructive patterns. It's like breaking an addiction: we must first acknowledge the problem, then identify the root causes, and finally develop a plan for overcoming the addiction through a combination of self-discipline, support from others, and a commitment to lasting change. Many resources, including this channel, explore various facets of Stoic practice, offering guidance on cultivating positive habits such as mindfulness, gratitude, and resilience. However, there is a noticeable gap in the discussion regarding the specific negative habits that plague our daily lives and actively sabotage our efforts toward self-improvement. We often focus on what we should be doing, neglecting to address the things we shouldn't be doing, the insidious patterns of thought and behavior that erode our well-being and prevent us from living in accordance with our values. This is akin to trying to fill a leaky bucket. We may pour water in diligently, but the bucket will never be full until we first repair the leaks. Therefore, this is an opportune moment to turn our attention inward and begin systematically removing anything from our lives that negatively impacts our physical, mental, and emotional well-being. This is not about self-criticism or dwelling on our shortcomings. It is about cultivating self-awareness and taking proactive steps to eliminate the obstacles that stand between us and a more fulfilling life. It's about identifying the weeds in our garden and diligently removing them to create space for the flowers of virtue to flourish. In particular, let us focus on steering clear of negative emotions that distract us from achieving our goals and cloud our judgment. Emotions such as anger, fear, anxiety, and resentment can consume our thoughts, distort our perceptions, and lead us to act in ways that are contrary to our values. While Stoicism does not advocate for the suppression of emotions, it emphasizes the importance of understanding and managing them effectively. We must learn to recognize the triggers that elicit these negative emotions, challenge the thoughts that fuel them, and develop strategies for responding to them in a rational and constructive manner. The journey towards a more virtuous and fulfilling life is not a passive one. It requires active participation, conscious effort, and a willingness to confront our own shortcomings. It is a process of continuous self-reflection, self-improvement, and self-mastery. By identifying and eliminating the negative habits that hold us back, we can clear the path for positive growth and unlock our full potential. In this exploration, we will delve into 9 common habits that we should strive to eliminate from our lives if we aspire to lead more fulfilling and joyful existences, drawing upon the wisdom of the Stoic philosophers and offering practical strategies for breaking free from these destructive patterns. Each habit will be examined in detail, exploring its root causes, its negative consequences, and offering actionable steps for overcoming it. It's important to remember that change is a process, not an event. It requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. By committing to this journey of self-improvement, we can cultivate a life of greater purpose, meaning, and joy. 1. Stop wasting your time, reclaiming the most precious resource. The modern world is a veritable buffet of distractions, a relentless barrage of notifications, updates, and entertainment options vying for our attention. From the endless scroll of social media feeds to the captivating allure of streaming services and the addictive pull of online games, we are constantly bombarded with stimuli designed to capture our focus and keep us engaged. The result is a pervasive sense of time scarcity, a feeling that we are perpetually rushing from one task to another, never quite catching up, and constantly sacrificing our most valuable resource, our time. Seneca, the Roman Stoic philosopher and statesman, eloquently addressed this phenomenon in his writings. He observed, "We complain that our days are few, but we act as if they were infinite." This profound statement encapsulates the essence of our modern-day predicament. We lament the fleeting nature of life, the relentless march of time, and the inevitable approach of mortality, yet we squander our precious moments on trivial pursuits, neglecting the things that truly matter and postponing the activities that align with our values. Seneca reflected deeply on the nature of life and came to the stark conclusion that many of us do not truly live, we merely exist. We passively drift through our days, allowing ourselves to be swept along by the currents of habit and distraction, without consciously choosing how we spend our time or directing our energy toward meaningful endeavors. We fill our hours with mindless entertainment, superficial interactions, and unproductive activities, effectively wasting the very essence of our existence. We postpone important tasks, delay pursuing our passions, and neglect nurturing our relationships, often citing a lack of time as the primary obstacle. However, Seneca argued that this perception of time scarcity is often self-imposed. We create our own sense of urgency by overcommitting ourselves, by filling our schedules with unnecessary obligations, and by failing to prioritize the things that truly matter. We act as if we have an unlimited supply of time, as if we will live forever, and fail to recognize the inherent fragility and preciousness of each passing moment. The reality, as Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, so poignantly reminded us in his Meditations, is that you could stop living right now. This sobering reflection serves as a powerful call to action, urging us to live each day with intention and purpose, to make conscious choices about how we spend our time, and to prioritize the activities that contribute to our well-being and fulfillment. It is a reminder that life is not a dress rehearsal. This is it, the only opportunity we have to make a difference, to pursue our dreams, and to live in accordance with our values. Therefore, the first step towards living a more meaningful and fulfilling life, according to the Stoics, is to start taking our time seriously, to recognize its inherent value, and to use it wisely. This requires a conscious effort to become more mindful of how we spend our days, to identify the time-wasting activities that drain our energy and detract from our goals, and to develop strategies for reclaiming our time and directing it towards more productive and fulfilling pursuits. Practical strategies for reclaiming your time. Conduct a time audit. The first step is to gain a clear understanding of how you are currently spending your time. For a week or two, meticulously track your activities, noting how much time you dedicate to each task, from work and chores to entertainment and socializing. Use a time tracking app, a spreadsheet, or simply a notebook to record your activities in detail. At the end of each day, review your log and identify the areas where you are wasting time. Are you spending excessive amounts of time on social media, watching television, or engaging in other unproductive activities? Are you procrastinating on important tasks or getting bogged down in unnecessary details? By conducting a time audit, you can gain valuable insights into your time management habits and identify the areas that need improvement. Prioritize ruthlessly. Once you have identified the time-wasting activities in your life, the next step is to prioritize ruthlessly. Determine what is truly important to you, your values, your goals, your relationships, and focus your time and energy on those things. Learn to say no to commitments and obligations that do not align with your priorities. Delegate tasks whenever possible. Eliminate distractions and create a dedicated workspace where you can focus on your most important work. Remember, you cannot do everything, so it is essential to prioritize the activities that will have the greatest impact on your well-being and fulfillment. Embrace the power of no. One of the most effective strategies for reclaiming your time is to learn to say no to requests and commitments that do not align with your priorities. This can be challenging, especially if you are a people pleaser or feel obligated to help others. However, it is essential to recognize that saying yes to everything ultimately dilutes your time and energy, preventing you from focusing on the things that truly matter. Practice politely but firmly declining requests that do not serve your best interests. Remember, saying no to others is often saying yes to yourself. Schedule your time intentionally. Instead of allowing your day to unfold haphazardly, take control of your schedule by planning your time intentionally. At the beginning of each day, or the night before, create a to-do list that prioritizes your most important tasks. Allocate specific blocks of time for each task, and stick to your schedule as closely as possible. Use a calendar or planner to schedule appointments, meetings, and other commitments. By scheduling your time intentionally, you can create a sense of structure and purpose, making it easier to stay focused and avoid distractions. Minimize distractions. In the age of constant connectivity, distractions are everywhere. Social media notifications, email alerts, text messages, and phone calls constantly interrupt our flow of thought and disrupt our concentration. To reclaim your time and improve your focus, it is essential to minimize distractions. Turn off notifications on your phone and computer. Close unnecessary tabs in your web browser. Find a quiet workspace where you can concentrate without interruption. Inform your family and friends that you need uninterrupted time to work on important tasks. By minimizing distractions, you can create an environment that fosters focus and productivity. Practice mindful time management. Mindful time management involves being present and attentive in each moment, rather than constantly worrying about the past or anticipating the future. When you are working on a task, focus your full attention on that task and avoid multitasking. Multitasking is often less efficient than focusing on one task at a time, as it divides your attention and reduces your concentration. Take regular breaks to stretch, walk around, and clear your mind. By practicing mindful time management, you can improve your focus, reduce stress, and increase your overall productivity. Embrace boredom. In a world that is constantly stimulating, boredom has become something to be avoided at all costs. However, boredom can be a valuable tool for self-discovery and creativity. When we are bored, our minds wander, and we are more likely to engage in creative thinking and problem-solving. Instead of reaching for your phone every time you feel bored, try embracing the feeling and allowing your mind to wander. You may be surprised at the insights and ideas that emerge. Reflect on your use of time. At the end of each day, take a few minutes to reflect on how you spent your time. Did you accomplish your most important tasks? Did you spend your time in alignment with your values? What could you have done differently? By reflecting on your use of time, you can identify areas for improvement and make adjustments to your schedule and habits as needed. This is an ongoing process of self-reflection and self-improvement, designed to help you reclaim your time and live a more fulfilling life. By implementing these practical strategies, you can begin to reclaim your time, eliminate time-wasting activities, and focus your energy on the things that truly matter. This will not only increase your productivity and efficiency, but also enhance your overall well-being and create a greater sense of purpose and fulfillment. Remember, time is the most valuable resource we have, and how we choose to spend it ultimately determines the quality of our lives. 2. Do not be afraid of change, embracing the inevitable flow of life. Change is an inherent and unavoidable aspect of the human experience. From the moment we are born until the moment we die, we are constantly evolving, adapting, and transforming in response to the ever-changing circumstances of our lives. Our bodies age, our minds develop, our relationships evolve, and our environments shift. Everything around us is in a state of constant flux, and resisting this natural flow of change is not only futile but also counterproductive. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, eloquently articulated this fundamental truth: the destiny of everything is to change, to transform, to perish, so that you can make it new. This profound statement encapsulates the cyclical nature of life, the constant ebb and flow of creation and destruction, growth and decay. Everything that exists is subject to change, both the good and the bad, the pleasant and the unpleasant. Trying to cling to the past, to resist the inevitable changes that life throws our way, is a recipe for frustration, disappointment, and suffering. Many people fear change, viewing it as a threat to their security and stability. They cling to the familiar, resisting anything that disrupts their routines, challenges their beliefs, or forces them to adapt to new circumstances. This fear of change often stems from a desire for control, a belief that we can somehow insulate ourselves from the uncertainties and challenges of life. However, the reality is that we have very little control over the external events that shape our lives. The only thing we can truly control is our response to those events. Trying to keep everything the same, apart from being an exercise in futility, also prevents us from discovering the many opportunities that exist and can appear in our lives. By clinging to the familiar, we close ourselves off to new experiences, new relationships, and new possibilities. We become stuck in a rut, repeating the same patterns of behavior, and missing out on the potential for growth and transformation. Instead of fearing change, we should embrace it as an opportunity for growth, learning, and self-discovery. Change can be challenging, uncomfortable, and even painful, but it also provides us with the chance to break free from limiting beliefs, develop new skills, and expand our horizons. It is through change that we evolve, adapt, and become more resilient. That does not mean that we should reject the old or what we have now in search of changes in our life. If we are satisfied with what we have, it only means that we should not be afraid of it, since we have the capacity to adapt to everything that life presents us with. Practical strategies for embracing change. Acknowledge the inevitability of change. the first step in embracing change is to acknowledge its inevitability. Accept that everything in life is subject to change, and that resisting this natural flow is futile. Understand that change is not necessarily a bad thing, it can often lead to new opportunities and possibilities. Focus on what you can control. While you cannot control the external events that shape your life, you can control your response to those events. Focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your actions, your attitude, and let go of the things you cannot control. Challenge your limiting beliefs. Many of our fears about change are rooted in limiting beliefs about ourselves and the world. Challenge these beliefs by questioning their validity and considering alternative perspectives. Are your fears based on evidence or assumptions? What are the potential benefits of embracing change? Embrace discomfort. Change is often uncomfortable, as it forces us to step outside of our comfort zones and confront the unknown. Embrace this discomfort as a sign of growth and learning. Recognize that the greatest opportunities for personal development often lie just beyond the boundaries of our comfort zones. Focus on adapting to change. Instead of focusing on avoiding change, focus on adapting to it. Develop your skills in adaptability, resilience, and problem solving. Learn to be flexible and open-minded. The more adaptable you are, the better equipped you will be to navigate the challenges and uncertainties of life. View change as an opportunity. Instead of viewing change as a threat, view it as an opportunity for growth, learning, and self-discovery. Ask yourself what you can learn from this experience. How can this change help you to grow and evolve? What new opportunities might this change present? Practice gratitude for what remains. Even in the midst of change, there are always things to be grateful for. Focus on the positive aspects of your life, and practice gratitude for the things that remain constant. This will help you to maintain a sense of stability and perspective during times of transition. Seek support from others. Change can be challenging, and it is important to have a support system in place to help you navigate the process. Talk to your friends, family members, or a therapist about your fears and concerns. Seek out mentors or role models who have successfully navigated similar changes in their own lives. By embracing change and developing your adaptability skills, you can transform your life from a state of fear and resistance to one of growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. Remember, change is inevitable, and it is how we respond to change that ultimately determines the quality of our lives. 3. Don't let anxiety rule you. Reclaiming your inner peace. Anxiety, a pervasive and debilitating emotion, has become a defining characteristic of modern life. The constant pressures of work, relationships, finances, and the ever-present uncertainty of the future can create a breeding ground for anxiety, leaving us feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and unable to cope with the demands of daily existence. Anxiety manifests in various forms, from generalized worry and social anxiety to panic attacks and phobias, but its underlying cause is often the same, a fear of the unknown and a preoccupation with potential negative outcomes. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, offered a profound insight into the nature of anxiety. Today I escaped from anxiety. Or rather, I discarded it, because it was within me, in my own perceptions, not outside. This powerful statement highlights the crucial distinction between external events and our internal responses to those events. Aurelius argued that external events, in and of themselves, do not cause anxiety, rather, anxiety arises from our own thoughts, beliefs, and interpretations of those events. It is not what happens to us that causes us to feel anxious, but how we think about what happens to us. Anxiety is not a helpful or productive emotion. It does not help you to solve problems, improve your performance, or enhance your well-being. In fact, anxiety often has the opposite effect, hindering your ability to think clearly, making you more prone to mistakes, and exacerbating your stress levels. It is simply a thought pattern that torments you, a cycle of negative thoughts and worries that perpetuate your fear and unease. The tendency to ruminate on future problems, to dwell on potential negative outcomes, and to imagine worst-case scenarios is a common characteristic of anxiety. We create elaborate narratives in our minds, conjuring up images of failure, rejection, and disaster, and allowing these imagined scenarios to dictate our emotions and behaviors. We become trapped in a cycle of worry, constantly anticipating the worst and neglecting to appreciate the present moment. Realize that whatever happens in the future, no matter how much uncertainty there is in your life, you have overcome worse situations before. Understand that you have tools to combat anything bad that may come in the future. Differentiate between the things you can't control and the things that are under your control, and think about the worst that can happen. Practical strategies for overcoming anxiety. Challenge your anxious thoughts. The first step in overcoming anxiety is to challenge your anxious thoughts. When you notice yourself feeling anxious, take a moment to examine your thoughts and beliefs. Are they based on evidence or assumptions? Are they realistic or exaggerated? Are they helpful or harmful? Challenge the validity of your anxious thoughts by questioning their basis in reality and considering alternative perspectives. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment without judgment. By focusing on your breath, your senses, or your surroundings, you can anchor yourself in the present moment and interrupt this cycle of anxious thoughts. Mindfulness can be practiced through meditation, yoga, or simply by paying attention to your everyday activities. Engage in cognitive restructuring. Cognitive restructuring is a technique used in cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, to identify and change negative thought patterns. This involves identifying your automatic negative thoughts, challenging their validity, and replacing them with more realistic and positive thoughts. CBT can be a highly effective treatment for anxiety disorders. Practice relaxation techniques. Relaxation techniques, such as deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, and visualization, can help to reduce the physical symptoms of anxiety, such as muscle tension, rapid heart rate, and shortness of breath. Practicing these techniques regularly can help you to manage your anxiety and promote a sense of calm and well-being. Engage in physical activity. Physical activity has been shown to be an effective way to reduce anxiety and improve mood. Exercise releases endorphins, which have mood-boosting effects, and can help to reduce stress and tension. Find an activity that you enjoy, such as walking, running, swimming, or dancing, and make it a regular part of your routine. Limit exposure to triggers. Identify the triggers that lead to your anxiety and try to limit your exposure to them. This may involve avoiding certain situations, people, or topics of conversation. It may also involve setting boundaries with others and learning to say no to requests that trigger your anxiety. Seek professional help. If your anxiety is severe or interfering with your daily life, it is important to seek professional help. A therapist or psychiatrist can help you to identify the underlying causes of your anxiety and develop strategies for managing it. Medication may also be helpful in some cases. By implementing these practical strategies, you can begin to reclaim your inner peace and overcome the debilitating effects of anxiety. Remember, anxiety is a common emotion, but it does not have to rule your life. With the right tools and support, you can learn to manage your anxiety and live a more fulfilling and joyful existence. 4. Stop clinging emotionally to things. The Stoic art of detachment. Attachment, the emotional bond we form with people, possessions, and ideas, is a natural and integral part of the human experience. We develop attachments to our loved ones, our homes, our jobs, and our beliefs, finding comfort, security, and meaning in these connections. However, when attachment becomes excessive or unhealthy, it can lead to suffering, disappointment, and a loss of inner peace. Clinging emotionally to things creates a sense of dependence and vulnerability, making us susceptible to the vicissitudes of life and preventing us from fully embracing the present moment. The Stoics believe that we have to learn to let go not only on the physical level but also on an emotional level. This practice, known as detachment, is not about suppressing emotions or becoming indifferent to the world around us. Rather, it is about cultivating a healthy distance from our attachments, recognizing their impermanence, and understanding that our happiness and well-being should not depend on external factors. The Stoics distinguished between what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and intentions, and what is outside our control, external events, other people's opinions, and the vagaries of fate. They argued that true happiness lies in focusing our energy on what we can control, accepting what we cannot control, and detaching ourselves from our attachments to external things. This does not mean that we should not care about the things in our lives, it means that we should not allow our happiness to be contingent upon them. You have made a mistake in your life, don't torture yourself with it. Learn so you don't make it again. Guilt and regret don't help you. This does not mean that it is wrong to feel these emotions help us understand that we have acted wrongly. But once we have understood that we have acted wrongly, and we learn from the situation so as not to make the same mistake again, we should not let these emotions continue to torment us. We all make mistakes, don't suffer excessively from it, and always look for ways to grow from the mistake. Practical strategies for cultivating detachment. Recognize the impermanence of things. The first step in cultivating detachment is to recognize the impermanence of everything in life. People come and go, possessions are lost or broken, and circumstances change unexpectedly. Accept that nothing lasts forever, and that clinging to things only leads to disappointment and suffering. Practice gratitude, focus on appreciating what you have in the present moment, rather than dwelling on what you lack or what you might lose. Cultivate a sense of gratitude for the good things in your life, and recognize that they are gifts that can be taken away at any time. Let go of the need for control, release your need to control external events and other people's opinions. Accept that there are many things in life that are beyond your control, and that trying to control them only leads to frustration and anxiety. Focus on virtue, shift your focus from external possessions and achievements to internal virtues, such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. These virtues are within your control, and they provide a solid foundation for happiness and fulfillment. Practice mindfulness, pay attention to the present moment without judgment. Observe your thoughts and emotions without getting carried away by them. This will help you to detach from your attachments and appreciate the present moment for what it is. Embrace loss. Loss is an inevitable part of life. When you experience loss, allow yourself to grieve, but do not allow yourself to become consumed by sorrow. Learn from the experience, and move forward with resilience and strength. Help others. Shifting your focus from yourself to others can help you to detach from your own problems and concerns. Volunteer your time, donate to charity, or simply offer a helping hand to someone in need. By cultivating detachment, you can free yourself from the emotional turmoil of clinging to things and cultivate a sense of inner peace and resilience. Remember, detachment is not about indifference, it is about recognizing the impermanence of things and focusing on what you can control, your own thoughts, actions, and virtues. 5. Stop procrastinating, seizing the present moment. 6. Stop looking the other way, embracing justice and responsibility. 7. Stop being a slave, mastering your impulses. 8. Stop looking for profit or recognition in everything you do, finding intrinsic motivation. 9. Stop settling for mediocrity, striving for excellence in all things. This journey into the heart of Stoic philosophy has revealed 9 common habits that, while often deeply ingrained, can significantly hinder our pursuit of a fulfilling and joyful life. From wasting precious time on fleeting distractions to clinging emotionally to possessions and seeking external validation, these patterns of thought and behavior can erode our well-being, prevent us from realizing our potential, and ultimately, lead us away from the path of virtue. As we have explored each habit, we've delved into the wisdom of the Stoic philosophers, gleaning insights from the timeless teachings of Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus. These ancient thinkers, grappling with the same human struggles we face today, offer a roadmap for navigating the complexities of life with resilience, equanimity, and an unwavering commitment to living in accordance with reason and virtue. Furthermore, we've moved beyond mere theoretical understanding and provided practical, actionable strategies for breaking free from these unproductive habits. From conducting time audits and practicing mindful time management to challenging anxious thoughts and cultivating detachment, these techniques offer concrete tools for reclaiming our lives and forging a more purposeful existence. It is crucial to remember that this is not a one-time fix, but rather a continuous process of self-reflection, self-improvement, and self-mastery. Breaking free from ingrained habits requires patience, persistence, and a willingness to learn from our mistakes. There will be setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when we stumble and fall. However, the key is to remain committed to the journey, to pick ourselves up, dust ourselves off, and continue striving towards our goals. The benefits of eliminating these negative habits are profound and far-reaching. By reclaiming our time, we can focus our energy on the activities that truly matter, pursuing our passions, nurturing our relationships, and contributing to the world in meaningful ways. By embracing change, we can adapt to the inevitable challenges of life with greater resilience and open ourselves to new opportunities for growth and self-discovery. By overcoming anxiety, we can cultivate a sense of inner peace and tranquility, allowing us to navigate stressful situations with greater clarity and composure. By practicing detachment, we can free ourselves from the emotional turmoil of clinging to things and cultivate a deeper appreciation for the present moment. And by striving for excellence in all that we do, we can unlock our full potential and live a life of greater purpose and meaning. The Stoic philosophy is not a passive set of beliefs, but rather a call to action, an invitation to actively shape our lives in accordance with virtue. It is a reminder that we are not simply passive recipients of fate, but rather active agents in our own destinies. We have the power to choose how we respond to the challenges and opportunities that life presents, and by making conscious choices that align with our values, we can create a life of greater purpose, meaning, and joy. As you embark on this journey of self-improvement, remember to be kind to yourself. Change takes time, and there will be moments of frustration and discouragement. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and learn from your setbacks. Surround yourself with supportive people who encourage your growth and hold you accountable to your goals. The path to a more fulfilling life is not always easy, but it is always worth it. By embracing the wisdom of the Stoics, by identifying and eliminating the negative habits that hold us back, and by actively cultivating virtue, we can create a life of greater purpose, meaning, and joy. Summary of key content. This exploration identified and addressed 9 common habits that hinder a fulfilling life from a Stoic perspective. Wasting time emphasized the value of time and provided strategies for mindful time management and prioritizing activities. Fearing change encouraged embracing change as an opportunity for growth and developing adaptability. Letting anxiety rule offered techniques for challenging anxious thoughts, practicing mindfulness, and seeking professional help. Clinging emotionally explained the Stoic art of detachment and provided strategies for cultivating a healthy distance from attachments. Procrastinating addressed the importance of seizing the present moment. Looking the other way outlined the importance of justice. Being a slave provided the concept of mastering your impulses. Looking for recognition explains intrinsic motivation. Settling for mediocrity, striving for excellence in all things. This guide aims to provide a practical framework for breaking free from these destructive patterns, fostering a more peaceful, joyful, and purposeful existence.